Hey there, let's talk about something delicious, brownies. But not just any brownies, we're talking about brownies with a secret superpower protein. It seems like everyone these days is looking for ways to get a little extra protein into their day. It's not just for big-time gym goers anymore. Protein helps keep you feeling full and satisfied, which is a pretty great bonus when you're enjoying a sweet treat. It helps your body build and repair things, from your muscles to your hair. So, adding it to a dessert isn't just a trend, it's a smart and tasty way to give your body a little boost, without feeling like you're missing out on the good stuff. Think about it. You finish a workout, or maybe you just get through a long, busy afternoon. You're craving something chocolatey and rich. Instead of grabbing a snack that will leave you hungry again in an hour, you can reach for a protein-packed brownie. It hits that sweet spot, and gives you that satisfying, full feeling that keeps you going. It's like having your cake, or in this case, your brownie, and eating it too. This is about making our favorite treats work a little harder for us, turning a simple indulgence into something that also contributes to our wellness goals. How cool is that? This whole idea isn't about dieting or restriction, not at all. It's about being clever in the kitchen. It's about finding simple swaps and easy additions that make the food we love even better. Why settle for an empty-calorie dessert when you can have one that's packed with goodness? You don't need to be a health food expert to jump on this train. If you can make a regular batch of brownies from a box, and we all can, you can definitely whip up a batch of these protein powerhouses. It's all about making small changes that add up to a big, delicious difference. So, let's get down to it. We're going to transform that classic fudgy brownie into a snack that's not only incredibly yummy, but also gives you a little extra oomph. We're not sacrificing flavor or texture here. Oh no, we're going to make sure these brownies are just as moist, just as chocolatey, and just as satisfying as the original. Forget those dry, crumbly protein bars you might have tried. We are on a mission for a truly delicious, protein-boosted brownie that you'll be excited to make and even more excited to eat. Let's get cooking! Alright, let's talk ingredients. The star of our show is, you guessed it, protein powder. This is the easiest way to give your brownies a serious protein punch. You can find it everywhere these days in all sorts of flavors. For brownies, a chocolate or unflavored whey or casein protein powder works like a charm. Whey protein is great because it mixes in smoothly, but a casein blend can sometimes make things even fudgier. Just remember, protein powder can be a bit thirsty, so it will soak up moisture. We'll get to how we handle that later. This one simple scoop can turn your dessert into a powerhouse. Next up, let's chat about flour. Traditional all-purpose flour is fine, but we can do better. To sneak in more protein and nutrients, think about alternative flours. Almond flour is a fantastic choice. It's lower in carbs, high in protein and healthy fats, and it gives the brownies an incredibly moist and dense texture. Another great option is oat flour, which you can make yourself by just blending rolled oats in a blender until they're fine. It adds a lovely, slightly nutty flavor and a good dose of fiber and protein. Using these flours isn't just about being healthy, it's about building a better, more flavorful brownie from the ground up. Now for my favorite secret weapon for moisture, Greek yogurt. This stuff is magic, I tell you. It's thick, it's creamy, and it's loaded with protein. Adding a big scoop of plain Greek yogurt to your brownie batter does two amazing things. First, it adds a ton of moisture, which fights back against the drying effect of protein powder. Second, it adds its own protein to the party. The slight tang from the yogurt also deepens the chocolate flavor, making it taste even richer. You could also use things like pumpkin puree or mashed avocado for a similar moisture-rich effect. But Greek yogurt brings that protein bonus. Don't forget about eggs. Eggs are a classic brownie ingredient for a reason. They provide structure, fat, and you guessed it, protein. They help bind everything together and create that perfect fudgy, chewy texture we're all after. Some recipes might even call for an extra egg white to boost the protein content without adding too much extra fat. So when you're gathering your protein power-ups, remember these key players: a good protein powder, a smart flour swap, a creamy moisture adder like Greek yogurt, and good old-fashioned eggs. Together they form our dream team for the perfect protein brownie. Let's get one thing straight. Fat is not the enemy. Especially not in brownies. Fat is what makes them taste rich, decadent, and delicious. It's essential for that melt-in-your-mouth texture. But we can be smart about the fats we choose. Instead of just using melted butter, which is still delicious by the way, you can bring in other sources. Think about using creamy nut butters like almond or peanut butter. Not only do they add amazing flavor, but they also contribute healthy fats and another little hit of protein. A swirl of peanut butter in the batter? Yum-o! It makes the brownies incredibly satisfying. Another fantastic fat to consider is coconut oil. Melted coconut oil works beautifully in brownies, giving them a really smooth and velvety texture. It has a very subtle flavor that pairs wonderfully with chocolate. If you're using something like almond flour, you're already getting healthy fats from the nuts themselves, which helps create that dense, fudgy base we're looking for. The key is to not be afraid of using fat. Trying to make a low-fat protein brownie is a recipe for a dry, sad hockey puck. We want moist and fudgy, and for that we need good quality fats to carry all that amazing flavor. Now let's talk sweeteners. Just because we're adding protein doesn't mean we have to load our brownies with refined sugar. There are so many great alternatives out there that can give you that sweetness you crave. Pure maple syrup is a fantastic option. It adds moisture and a wonderful complex flavor that white sugar just can't match. Honey and agave nectar are also great liquid sweeteners that help keep the brownies moist. If you're looking to lower the sugar content even more, you can explore natural sweeteners like monk fruit or erythritol, which bake up really well. The trick is to find a balance. Sometimes, using a mix of sweeteners gives you the best result. For example, you could use a little maple syrup for that rich flavor and moisture, and then supplement with a bit of a zero-calorie sweetener to get the sweetness just right without adding extra sugar. A splash of vanilla extract is also non-negotiable. It doesn't just add its own flavor, it enhances the chocolate and makes everything taste richer and more complex. Don't skimp on the vanilla. It's these little details that take your brownies from good to wow. What's in these? Okay team, it's time to bring it all together. The mixing process is super important. My #1 rule, do not overmix the batter. Once you combine your wet and dry ingredients, mix them only until they are just combined. You might even see a few little streaks of flour, and that's okay. Overmixing develops the gluten in the flour, which can lead to tough, cakey brownies. We want fudgy, dense, and gooey, not dry and crumbly. So be gentle, use a spatula, not an electric mixer, for this final step. Fold the ingredients together with love. Now let's address the elephant in the room: dryness. Because protein powder is so absorbent, you have to be ready to adjust your liquid. Your batter should be thick, but it should still be spreadable. It shouldn't look like Play-Doh. If it seems way too thick and stiff after you mix it, don't be afraid to add a little more liquid. A tablespoon or two of milk, dairy or non-dairy, your choice, or even a splash of brewed coffee can make all the difference. Coffee is a great trick because it deepens the chocolate flavor while adding moisture. Always trust your eyes and feel the batter. When it's time to bake, the oven temperature and baking time are critical. Most protein brownie recipes call for baking at a slightly lower temperature, around 325 degrees Fahrenheit, for a longer period. This gentle baking helps cook them through without drying out the edges before the center is done. The most important tip I can give you is to underbake them slightly. Pull them out of the oven when a toothpick inserted into the center comes out with moist, fudgy crumbs attached. Not clean. The brownies will continue to cook and set as they cool in the hot pan. And that brings me to the final and perhaps hardest step: let them cool. I know, it's torture. The kitchen smells amazing, and you want to dive right in. But letting the brownies cool completely in the pan is essential for the best texture. This allows them to firm up and become extra fudgy. If you cut into them while they're still warm, they'll be gooey and might fall apart. Patience, my friends. Once they're cool, you can slice them into perfect squares. See, making delicious, protein-packed brownies at home is totally doable. You just need a few good tricks up your sleeve.